everyone. Welcome. Today is Thursday, May 19th, 2022. I am Salad Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Welcome, Zach. You are number one. Grid, today you're number two. And Blunt Ninja, you are number three. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's see. All right. I hope everyone is having a good day today. Hey, Tuttles. Hello, Frankie. Hey, hey, hey. All right, so let me stop this music here. All right, everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. So today is Thursday, and today I want to talk about your father's picking us up. What's the most embarrassing moments you've had in high school? How much did driving matter? Were the cool kids really cool? Welcome, Alpha Mike. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about high school. And for some of us, it could have been one of the greatest times of our lives. And for others, it could have been hell. And for other people, it could have just been, it was okay. So for me personally, I did not like high school. I was a nerd. I did have friends, but I wasn't in that cool group. You know, I wasn't, one of the cool kids. But then again, what do you consider one of the cool kids? Are the cool kids the popular people who were cheerleaders and, if you were a jock playing football, basketball, if you were on the tennis team, or track, whatever, is that considered one of the cool kids? Um, or were you just one of those people who hung out with other nerds? I won't say I hung out with other nerds, but I hung out with people who, in my opinion, these people may disagree with me now, but we weren't popular. We just came to school, went home, and that was it. Even though don't laugh, my junior senior year, I was a pom pom girl. But do they even have pom pom girls now? So anyway, that's what I want to ask you guys. And Alpha Mike says high school can suck. Rah rah sis boom ba. Right. That's basically what group did you fall into, and in being in those groups, did you have certain advantages or things that were not so advantageous? I was one of those people who, if I went to a party, yep, my father took me and picked me up. Only way I got a car in high school is if I got straight A's all through high school. That didn't happen. I didn't get the car. I didn't get the car when I was 16. Didn't get the car when I was 18. Didn't happen. So, or I was picked up by someone else's mother or father while other people were driving, to and from. I didn't really find that an embarrassing thing because a lot of people, at least in my high school, were being picked up and dropped off by their parents even after the age of 16 when you could drive. Welcome, Petty Deb. Grit says, I wasn't a popular kid, but wasn't unpopular either. Okay, so you just fell right in that middle. Blunt says, I went to 4 different high schools. Shit was rough in foster care. Oh, okay. Okay. So, Blunt, let me ask, were you going to different high schools because you moved from, well, I'm assuming you moved from home to home, but was everything in the same state or in the same town? Did you ever live like in a different state or anything? And Zach says, Zach liked the show. Thank you. Um, let's see. Alpha Mike says, getting your car was a must. Second was upgrading your sound system louder, the better. Okay, moved. Okay, so Blunt says she moved. Okay, and different town, same state. Okay. All right, so that right there, just always being the new kid, that right there is rough. Whether you're a new kid in school or the new kid on the block, yeah, that must have been really hard. Saturday Night Smoke, welcome, welcome. So Blunt says being the new kid was horrible, and Grit says surfers and rich kids were the popular kids in my high school. Okay, so Zach, welcome.
Hey,
Hey, hey, hey. So, what was the most embarrassing moment in high school, or what did you like, didn't like?
well, to start off with was first of all the driving part. I can't drive anyway, so the driving was out of the picture. And I was neither popular or I was in the middle because I was a chess player. I was in the chess club, so when we won the I was the captain of the chess team. So when we won, I was popular. And then when we went back to just playing chess, I was back to the normal crowd. No, I wasn't a nerd. I was good at math, so it wasn't a nerd situation. It was just a normal crowd. That's that, and I just just that. But embarrassing moment would probably be when um when I got shot down by the one girl that I really liked. I guess I really didn't have I have low expectations, Solid Blue. I really don't have high expectations.
Okay, all right, all right. So, um, when you got shot down by that girl, I'm assuming that was, like you said, an embarrassing moment. Did she do it in front of other people, or was it just the two of you?
Oh, we was just having a weird conversation. She says, "No." It was the weirdest thing. It was like, two 6-year-olds just talking, but no. It was
Wait, wait,
just
wait, 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 wait. I'm sorry. You said two 16-year-olds, right?
Oh no, it was like two 6-year-olds because we had no idea what the hell he was saying,
Well, I
and
mean,
we really didn't give a
I meant in high school.
I know. It was like two 6-year-olds talking because
Okay.
we was scared to even talk to each other because eventually we became best friends after that situation because well we didn't even know each other.
Okay. All right. So Alpha Mike says, I think an embarrassing moment is when you bust your ass falling down the stairs in school. Okay. Welcome, Power Girl. An embarrassing moment for me, and I think about this. It pops up in my head every so often, especially if I'm watching tennis on TV. I um uh was trying to make the tennis team, trying, didn't do it. And I thought that one day I was going to do a Billie Jean King over the and jump over the net. I did not make it. My foot got caught, slammed my head face first down in the concrete, um, knocked out, had to go to the hospital. And when I came back to school like 2 days later, everybody was teasing me, laughing, whatever. And Even now, if I run into some people from high school, they remind me of that. That was very embarrassing for me. So, and then let's see, Alpha, you say I was in the outcast group. So when you say the outcast group, um, do you mean nerd or just the people that nobody wanted to talk to? So outcast could be a couple of things. It could be, you were part of the math club, you were part of this club or this. Um, uh, when you say outcast, what made you an outcast, or did your other classmates make you that outcast? And let's see, while we're waiting for him to answer, Grit says, I was checking a girl out whilst walking home and walked into a light pole. Okay, Grit. So let me ask, did you do that in front of other people? Or was it just you and then people driving by saw it and started laughing? Okay. Yeah, smoke that did happen to me. Hey, Brina. Didn't want to be part of groups yet became a group. Okay, so so you were the group of well, you always had that group of people who don't want to. I mean, even in your workplace, you don't want to be part of that group or that water cooler group. But so therefore, you do become a group. Uh, so Alpha, do you see yourself as looking back? Do you see yourself as that outcast? Welcome, bully. Do you see yourself as that outcast still, or do you think that you really weren't? So is outcast the right word to use? And welcome, ZBG. So and Ziller, let me ask this of you. So considering you know your physical limitations, did you ever consider yourself like an outcast, or someone who was like not part of that cool kid group or could never be part of the cool kid group? Or did you pretty much say, you know what, screw it, this is me and I'm just going to do me?
Oh hell, oh hell no! I took full advantage of it. I went. I, Everybody enjoyed it. I'm going back to my hometown, and everybody that knows me from my group will say, "That's Ziller." 31 years old. They'll know me by my right hand. They'll know it. That's Ziller. That's him. There he is. 30 years later, boom, that's him. Um, Here's the crazy thing. I signed up for the talent show, and I did the most stupid. Oh, here's the most embarrassing thing. So what I did, I don't know if you watch wrestling, but I did the talent show, and I did something stupid. I literally dressed up in a bikini, and I shot off through into an audience, and I went into the bikini era and sing Shawn Michaels song. I'm a sexy boy.
Well, was it embarrassing,
Oh
or
no,
was it
no!
or it went over
Everybody
well?
enjoyed. All the girls were like, "Oh hell yeah! Is he actually freaking doing this?" Oh, I got suspended 2 seconds afterwards, but everybody's like, He's got a set of rocks, man. Hell yeah! Keep doing it. You're gonna be suspended in 2 seconds, but we're gonna enjoy every minute of it, boy. Heck yeah! We'll see you next week.
Well, for some things I mean, not just in high school, but just some things that people do, you know, it takes a lot of guts, and I no, I wouldn't have done something like that. I would not have had the nerve to do something like that. So So let me go and ask about driving. So Alpha says that the okay, first he says that the outcasts were lower than the nerds. Okay. So Alpha, you say that, a car was a must. Does everybody think that, having a car was something that you had to have? I mean, and if it was a must, why was it a must? Let's see. Let me go. No, we just got on the bus, Brina. So did I. Got on that bus. Chick magnet. All right. All right. Did it work? Was it? I'm referring to being a chick magnet half the time. Okay. So, Brina, did it bother you to get on the bus? Because it didn't bother me to get. I mean, well, I had no choice, but it's not like, oh my god, I have to get on the bus. I got on the bus, and half the school was getting on the bus with me. So, you know, it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, you had the people who after school they headed towards the parking lot. I headed across the street to get on the bus. So, so yep, no, it didn't. There was always at least five of us going to the mall or downtown. I mean, yeah, I mean, So, do you think that some people that when you look back at high school, um, do you look back at it with fun, like, oh, those memories, or do you look at it with, I can't stand it. I'm glad I got out of there. And have any of you guys been to a high school reunion, and what was it like? And Alpha says to Zach, that's a Napoleon Dynamite move. So,
I can tell you what my reunion was like.
okay.
So we just had it literally four years ago, and I literally went in there and said, "What up? How you guys doing?
Okay.
Shut the hell up!
All
We
right.
don't want you here. Go home."
All
Okay.
right.
So I just walked out. I just walked out the door.
All right.
Went home.
Well, Brina says, yeah, I did like school. I was a geek. Lou Rock says, only thing I miss about high school was cutting class. And Brina says, never been to a reunion. I've had several reunions, and I've never been to one. I've never wanted to go to one. And with the exception of two people, I don't, nope. And when I do run into people, when I, go back home to visit, it's like, hey, yeah, how are you? Yeah, and that's it. I've never been interested in going to a reunion. So Tuttles, welcome.
Hey, hey,
Okay, you're coming in really faint.
am I?
Yep. And I understand that Podbean did a an upgrade and it's affecting people's sound.
I'm gonna switch headsets and call back up.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I was told not to upgrade, and I'm not. I'm just gonna stay on this whatever that I'm on. So, where was I? Let's see. At what point do they start doing reunions? Is it 5 years or later? Usually, they start doing reunions at 10. So usually, your 10th year reunion is when that one group will always get together and get everybody's information and track everybody down. So, and usually, if they can't find you, they will go to the school and see if the school has any updated information on you. Um, but yeah, here's Tuttles again. And let's see. Okay, Tuttles, let's see how you're coming in now.
How am I sounding now?
You're sounding better. You just need to speak up just a little bit, but you were a lot better than you were before.
That's good to know the stuff isn't working before tonight.
See, how was your test? So,
High school was the worst time of my life. It was the most awkward moments of my life. I was glad it was over. I'm not friends with anybody from high school, and I've never wanted to go to a single reunion.
have I mean, but you've had them. The reunions have come up, and you've gotten the notice and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because a few people that I knew were people that head up the reunions and stuff like that, and I just nothing to do with it. Have not gone to a single one and don't intend to.
So is that because of people in your class you just didn't like, or you just, you just don't? I mean, so what? It's a reunion. Move on.
I was at a weird place because in my hockey career I didn't have a lot of time for high school and extracurricular stuff. So even though I was like a jock type physicality type, but when I was at school, I wasn't allowed to play certain sports because I played competitive hockey league. So I was actually not allowed to play on a lot of the sports teams. So I sort of went into like the chess club and I was a mathlete for a while just so I could participate in something. But yeah, it was just weird for me. I was like in an awkward thing. Like I would have loved to play on the high school hockey team or whatever, but I wasn't allowed to because of my hockey career. So it sort of put me in a weird place.
So did you have friends in high school then, since you were so busy during the hockey thing? I mean, did you have, like, were you making friends and at least hang out sometimes?
I had some people that I hung out with, yeah, but in general, I would never really consider them all close friends at all.
Okay. So, is there at least like one person you still keep up with, or
Nope. Like I
okay?
got people on my Facebook, but how many people on Facebook are just people that you knew in the past, right?
You know what? I can honestly say that I mean, I don't go on my Facebook page hardly ever anymore. And I never really did, even when I joined. I have like maybe 30 friends on Facebook, and um, everybody on Facebook are people I can literally pick up the phone and call. I'm not one of those people who friend people and, and yeah, I have 5,000 friends. Do you really have 5,000 friends? Do you really know those people?
Well,
So yeah, so
I also like I mentioned I don't know if I mentioned on here before, but I uh, I was a pretty popular YouTube person, almost a local minor celebrity and stuff. So once all that stuff started happening, a lot of people that in my past started adding me, and I take advantage of it because then when I shared a YouTube video, it would get me extra views and stuff like that too. But I was using it more as a social media platform for networking and get more views on my YouTube channel and stuff, basically my Facebook. So a lot of those people are just people I knew from school and knew from whatever. I just wouldn't consider them friends or go out for a beer with them or anything, you know?
we know is interesting how people, when you become successful or when you do certain things in life, the people who didn't, talk to you in high school, um, you know, um, they come back, or people who just never wanted to have anything to do with you, they come back. Dennis Rodman said on Oprah, I think I mentioned this on a previous show, that in high school, everyone, all the girls, thought that he was not good looking. He was this, he was that. But as soon as he started playing ball and started making money and started becoming, this high profile, basketball person, all of a sudden, he said that his mom would call him and say, "Yeah, so and so called, so and so called," and he was like, "You didn't like me before. Why do you like me now?" So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nowhere close to his level, but I understand that totally and completely.
So have you ever spoken to anyone from high school, like when you started your YouTube, and everything started to get popular for you on YouTube? Did you ever talk to any of those people and like literally ask them, so yeah, so why are you calling me?
Yeah, pretty much I have. It's like they'll start shooting shit with you, and then you realize, like, wait a minute, there was reasons why I guess you guys didn't get along in high school, and it's like, why are you bothering wasting your time talking to me? Like, do you remember this moment? Oh yeah, but that was then. Yeah, well, I still remember it because unfortunately, it's still a scar in my brain.
So okay, so that's interesting because I've heard a lot of people say on various shows, welcome Juju and GP Man. I've heard people say on various shows, on talk shows and what have you, and sometimes you see it in movies and what have you. Why do you think people who didn't have anything to do with you in high school, or they bullied you, that, when you go to a reunion or they see you 10, 20 years later, and I guess this goes to my grudge thing, and, and you still remember some of these things, that they think that because you're older, or you're not in high school anymore, or, you know, college, whatever, that you're just supposed to forget that they could have been the person who made your life hell and caused some people, in some cases, trauma.
Yeah, lifelong trauma and scars and stuff that leave you to hesitate even as an adult. Like, you remember getting picked on about one thing, and it's like you're still scarred from that even as an adult sometimes. Like, it's, I don't know. I used to like to beat the shit out of the bullies, to be honest, because I was a big hockey player guy, and if I seen somebody bullying somebody, I'd beat the shit out of them. That was my trip. But I just, there's lots of times that I've been picked on or shunned or said no to by asking to chick out and all that stuff. It just, it does. It's every little thing's a wrinkle in your brain, and it's just there.
Eh,
So, do you think that people like that get it? Like, they understand why?
No, because they were too stupid to realize what they were doing back then. They're too stupid to realize that it affected anybody because they live in their own fucking heads and don't care about other people.
Okay. All right. All right.
solid. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Tells completely. There was this one situation where I'm embarrassed, but this person really deserved it. I agree with Tells. They needed beating. Well, this one person kept on doing it and doing it, and I always wondered what they would think right this time. Well, here's where I got suspended for a long time. I should have got expelled. You know those desks that where you sit down and it's also combined as a desk. You know, it's one
Mm-hmm.
whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got mad one time because they kept on doing it for weeks and weeks and every day writing on a board saying something that was totally untrue. Well, what? I grabbed the edge of the corner and literally slung it at them, straight at their head.
Did it hit one of them or anybody?
Luckily, it didn't. But they better be glad it didn't because they would have learned their lesson. They're lucky I didn't. They're, they're very lucky because it went all the way to from the one end to the other end of the room.
Okay.
On
All
the
right.
polar, if I can talk again for a second, on
Sure.
the polar opposite end of the spectrum, people that I went to school with for like kindergarten to grade 8, I've actually got a lot of friends from that era still in my life.
That's interesting because, again, people have said that if you go back in time, from people that they still speak to in terms of college, high school, or elementary, grade school, is usually the elementary and grade school people that they've kept in contact with, as opposed to when they got older. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe like in high school, dudes are trying to show off to score with the chicks more, so they turn into bigger assholes.
Yeah, but girls can be mean too. Girls, I think, can be worse than boys in high school, and you know, I think girls can just be really nasty.
Yeah, other than getting turned down on a date or two or whatever, I never really experienced any of the girl anger hate thing because I didn't talk to too many girls in high school, so I don't really know that side of things, and so I can't really comment on that one.
Okay. I just want to read some of the comments. Lou Rex says, I live too far to go back, and paying for a flight back to school now. I have better vacation plans. Okay. In regards to the reunion, Brina says, I still talk to people I actually liked from high school. No need for me to go back either. Blunt says, I never went to reunion. Everyone I like, I still talk to. See, Brina, Facebook makes people you wanted to forget about just reappear. You know what, Brina? You are absolutely right. That is so true. Facebook makes people you wanted to forget about just reappear. Grid says, I'm great, getting ready for the beach house I rented for the weekend. How are you? Okay, you're okay. I'm sorry, you're referring to Blue Rock is referring to grid. Okay, Deb says about 300 people on my Facebook. High school peeps, we speak randomly. And Alpha says, I deleted Facebook. It's just a stalker app. Also, there's no need to tell everyone everything going on in your life. Get a journal for that. You know what, Alpha? I am so, you know what? You know, I am with you on that. I do not post anything. Even when I first got Facebook, I did not post anything on my Facebook page. I don't post pictures. I don't post what restaurant I went to and take pictures of the food. I don't post where, you know, what my kids are doing. I don't do any of that, because it's like, do people really care? I mean, I don't know. Grit says, okay, he's responding to Lou Rock about the weekend. And Juju says, hello to everyone. Okay. Lou Rock says, only Mr. Carter, my architect teacher, made my life hell in high school. And Alpha says, I got bullied. It was a bully. Once I got older, I wish I could go back in time to stop myself from bullying someone, especially since I knew how it felt. But kids are kids, still learning. Sabrina says, I still have friends from all the way back in kindergarten. Lou Rock says, I moved like 5 or 6 times before middle school. Hard to actually make friends when I was young. Grit, I'm still in contact with my friends from high school. Juju says, please keep hitting the like button. Yes, please hit the like button and share the show and follow. Okay, Mr. B, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's go back to the bullying from Alpha. So you said I got bullied and was a bully. Did you become a bully because you were bullied? Or were you a bully first and then got bullied? And uh, who said made the comment about their teacher? I think it was Lou Rock. So did you guys have teachers from hell? I mean, did you guys have teachers that, when you think about them now, it's like, screw you. Did you run into those teachers years later, Zach?
I will tell you all my friends were teachers, and hell, the craziest thing was the what do you call what are those the food ladies were my friends, not friends, regular friends. The teachers and the lunch ladies were the lunch ladies. There you go. The lunch ladies were my friends, not the kids. The kids were the butt heads. There you go. In a nice way of saying it.
Okay. Now, Mr.
My
It
B
was the
says,
total opposite.
okay, Mr. B said, I had a very mean teacher, and Brina said I had some asshole teachers, but most were okay. So, Tuttles?
most of my teachers is just could have had took them or left them or whatever. But I had one teacher who made a big difference in my high school career. Was her name was Mrs. Pike, and she was my art teacher. I literally took art class every single semester, and then when I was full of all my art credits, I would you could do these classes where you're like in grade 11 and the grade 9s. It's like a teacher's helper person, and it gets you some other helper credit stuff or whatever. So I literally took art class every single semester I was in high school, and Mrs. Pike was the teacher, and she was like my saving grace in the school.
So, is art something that you still do now?
No, not really. She was gonna go for bat for me and get me into a university and stuff for I don't know whatever, but I got really stupid near the end of high school and started doing drugs and all that crap, and it just sort of screwed up my hockey and screwed up my school career and everything too at the same time.
But even
I still
now,
do
as a
both.
hobby, you wouldn't want to still go back to art and draw or paint or whatever your medium was.
No, not really. Like I get my creative juices flowing when I'm like building an RC car and figured out the paint scheme on it, or
Okay.
sending in stuff to my buddies to do on their printers for like stickers and stuff like that.
But isn't that still art? I mean, isn't that something that you can still like? You still have to. Yeah, I mean, that's still art. You can still draw it or whatever. Isn't that art?
Well, you don't use it, you lose it. Like I used to be like a expert with ink pens and do like pointillism artwork and stuff. and I couldn't do it if you paid me $1 million right now. What I used to do.
Well, I don't know. I think I tend to disagree agree with you. Mr. B says, and I'm saying just in terms of lose it, you don't use it, you lose it. Mr. B says, a teacher she called me stupid in the classroom while others laughed. Lurak says to Mr. B, I remember those days. And Alpha says, I was bullied and yet I acted the same way to a different kid since my friends were doing the same because everyone thought it was fun. I didn't know better until I dealt with similar situations. Unfortunately, bullying can go on even through adulthood. I mean, and that's true because we all know that there are bullies. There are adult bullies, and is it rooted in childhood? If you don't nip it in the butt when you're younger, um, then do you carry it on to when you're, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever? Um, so yeah, Grid says my Afrikaans teacher, though, threw a duster at me for eating in class. When you say duster, I'm assuming you're talking about what they erase the board with. I'm assuming that's what a duster is in South Africa. Yeah. Okay. And that's, and we're adults here. Okay. We are different generations, different ages, whatever. But it sounds like, in terms of some teachers, not all, you still have the teachers who, like today, that are being filmed and taped in the classroom, throwing the dusters, calling people stupid, hitting kids, whatever. Do you think that teachers, and then you have in Catholic schools. I never went to a Catholic school. I went to a Lutheran school. But you hear like the nuns, pulling out the ruler and all this other stuff. Um, why do you think corporal punishment in some schools are allowed? In some schools, they look the other way. Or some teachers are just downright mean.
I was the last kid in my school system to get corporal punishment. Our principals used to have permission to use a 4-inch wide leather strap on our asses when we didn't
So
do
when you say
something.
have permission, you mean that your parents literally had to give them written permission or say, yes, you can do this to my child?
Yep.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, Solid Blue, I never did, but there's a reason to that. Mostly, mostly in high school, I was in the hospital with seizures and epilepsy problems. That's the only reason why.
Okay.
Medical reasons.
Well, Grid says today's kids beat their teachers in class. And Alpha Mike says, I'll never go back to Catholic school or put a kid in one. Strict asshole for so called holy people. And that's another thing, too. Having gone to a quote unquote Christian school or a religious school, it's like some of the things that the teachers did, you're like, okay, we're supposed to be Christians, So, um, I don't know. So, looking back, would you prefer to do grammar school or elementary school over, high school over, or if you went to college over?
Elementary school for sure.
Okay, for me, it would be college.
Yeah, I never really went to college after. Like, basically, I graduated in high school and I became electric motor mechanic, which my dad was. And I did that for many, many years. Like, I did do college, like night school college for like electrical and all that stuff, but I never
Okay,
actually went away to like college or anything like that.
okay. GPB says I had cool teachers in high school. They took bribes. Uh, Alpha says paddles exist, people. Paddles exist. Alpha, I know paddles that exist because I had some teachers who wanted to pull out paddles, and some parents said yes, but I had a mother who was like, "You touch my child, we are going to have a problem." And Brina says she would want to do elementary over. Um, so, do you think that going like when you're in in America is eighth grade when you go to high school, and I know in some places it's ninth grade. But do you think that when you are doing that transition from eighth grade into high school, that literally there should be like a class or course that kids should go through for what they may or may not expect, or what may or may not happen, that you may be the person that's going to be bullied, you may be the person who's welcome into this, the in crowd, you may be that person who is targeted by a teacher. I mean, do you think that there should be like some type of class or psychological thing that when you go from eighth grade into high school that you have to take?
I think
Solid. Oh, go ahead. Tell us. Go ahead. You go
I
ahead
think that
first.
I think that's actually a good idea because when you're going from grade 8 into high school, you're all of a sudden getting tossed into like the shark tank because like you're like a 13, 14-year-old dude and there's like actual men walking around like 18, 19-year-old people still in high school too, right? So you're at a total disadvantage being that young guy in a school, and it's not good because a lot of the older guys are just assholes to you, but they're assholes to you too sometimes because they were treated like crap when they came in as the 13, 14-year old kid, right? I think
Okay.
there's almost should be like a transitionary school for like a grade 9, 10, and then a grade 11 and 12 be like a separate entity almost.
So you think that the ninth and 10th graders are too young to deal with the 11th and 12th graders?
Yeah, there's too much of an age gap as far as I'm concerned for people to be co co-mingling.
Okay. Okay. Ziller?
And here's another thing. Back when I was you know, transferring to high school, a lot of people says, "I'm ready for this. I'm ready for high school. I'm the boss of this middle school. I'm going to shove my foot so far up these high schoolers, you know what?" And then they got demolished during the first day of high school because they didn't expect what was happening the next day. And yes, I totally agree on what you just said. Yes, I think there should be a class because, of course, they got their butts handed to them from the high schoolers. And Juju, I love what you said. Never, never again.
Okay, Juju says she hated school, and Mr. B says the teacher was mean to me because she wanted to date my dad when they were younger. True story. Thank you, everyone, for liking the show. Alpha says Saved by the Bell is not how real high school is. This is true. Um, Grit says I had a teacher that was passionate about something, and we would ask her questions, and then she would speak about that in the whole class time, and we would get out of tests. I mean, high school, I don't care how popular you were. I don't care how many girlfriends or boyfriends you had. High school is mentally challenging. I'm not even talking about, and then you have the, schoolwork, whatever, but just the mental challenge of high school. And when, now when you read these stories about these kids who are, being bullied, or they're hanging themselves, or they're getting teased, or this is happening, or this is happening, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, a lot of it never has to do anything to do with their classes. It's not about their getting an A in this class or they're failing this class. Everything seems to be social and mental. And when I read stories about kids in high school and I see, you know, what they're going through, and then you look back at your own high school days, have things really changed? The only thing that's changed to me is social media. When I was in high school, we didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. So you can't text something and take a photo of somebody and then upload whatever. Everything was literally word of mouth, whatever. But nothing's changed. You still have those bullies, and even if you weren't a bully, you could have been that person who was still spreading stuff that wasn't true. And even if you were spreading stuff that was true, it's like, do you really want to spread it? So, do you all think that high school over the years, no matter, I don't care if you went to high school in 1920, is it still the same? Is it still mentally, to me at least, is mentally challenging?
Yeah, for
Tuttles?
sure. My son's 22. He graduated a few years back, and I've seen him going through a lot of the same stuff like I went through in school. He was a rower, so he had his little popular clique, but outside of that, man, he still got bullied and all kinds of stuff. Like, it just wasn't cool. He had a rough time in high school as well, and he hated high school.
Okay. Grit says, I love high school. And Lou Rock says, high school is a cakewalk. Everything after all is more challenging. Alpha says, I had a history teacher that would play Three Stooges movies, but just the ones that had to do with history, like war and such. Brina says the heavy online presence doesn't help kids now. I think it makes it harder for them. And GB says purpose of high school is to figure out if you like guys or girls. Everyone goes through that trying to figure that out. I have to disagree with that one because I don't know. I think the purpose of high school is not just just you're learning more, a higher level than you did in elementary school, but I think high school also prepares you for the world, or getting you ready that now you're getting older. When you leave here, you're not going to be going from one school to another, and you're still going to be living in your parents' house. I mean, you still could be, but for the most part, you're an adult. You're out in the world, and that's why I do believe that kids need to take high school more serious. And I do believe people who did not take it so serious then probably wish that they did. Um, but I don't know. I think just high school is just mentally challenging. So, Zilla, you wanted to say something?
Yes, about what you just said about forgetting the bullying part, and especially with me having the brain damage part, I was separate from the main classes. I was in a different set of classes where they had to. I had a one-on-one where they had to literally. I had. I couldn't read what the words were. They had to literally tell me what the words were, and my when it came to class, when it had a test, I was separate from tests. They even gave me extended time. If it took me 4 days to do it, it took me 4 days to do it. It took me one test took me 10 days to do, and it was just one one day. Every exam took me. It said write a page about the Declaration of Independence. It took me 13 days to do that because my mind couldn't function it because they didn't give me a book with it, so I had to think about it for that long. And that one-on-one stayed there with me the whole entire time, and it was like, what the hell? This kid's like taking this long. It's like, wow, brain damage is a whole stressful on this kid. You know what I mean? So,
But the school knew about your situation, right?
oh yeah, yeah. All the files. So what happened was, I went, I had already came in from middle school going, and I took an exam. We took a mental exam and saw what my ID, not ID, my, what do you call the dang thing? My, my, my IQ is not very high at all. Thank you, Juju. So I've done run tests from my eyes and all that kind of stuff. So they gave me all that kind of stuff, and so they sent that to the principal, and so now they put me in all those kind of things, and I felt bad because I wanted to be in the regular classes, and so I had to accept life because now that's why I like life now, because now I've accepted that I'm not going to be able to drive. I'm not going to be able to learn things at a normal pace. So that's what I mean by, and that's why I always like your that's why I like your podcast, is because you accept me for who I am. Solid. So thank you very much.
I think we should all accept each other as They are. I mean, like they say, it takes all kinds to make the world. So, and no one is perfect. Lou Rock says social media is a good bad thing all wrapped into one. And Grit says my kids bring homework home and I look at it and think this, what the hell is this? Go ask your mom. Juju says, when I was in high school, we made our own social media, a thick black notebook. It was passed around all day and returned to you at the end of the day. That's interesting. Alpha says, I think the internet made people more stupid, antisocial. Instead of reading a book for the answer, now you just go Google or Siri or Alexa, etc. Tunnels, see, thanks for having me up. I'm heading to a store. No problem. I'll be listening in still, though. Okay. Welcome, Jill. And hey, shy lady. Let's see. Yeah, so high school. Okay, let me put it like this: if you had to go back to high school tomorrow, okay, if you were, what was that movie that came out in the '90s where she woke up one day and she was in high school and she was reliving her high school days and it was like, you know, I was like that. This is what I did. It's like she literally was reliving those high school days.
Freaky 16. I mean,
No, oh no, 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 no. Let's see. Grit says only homework I help with is the building projects. 30 something. No, no movie. That 30 something was a TV show. No, it wasn't Freaky Friday. Was Jamie Lee? No, it wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis. It was Oh, now I'm have to look this up because this is going to bug me. And then when she went back to school, when she woke up, she was in her parents' house and her father bought an Etzel and she said, "You bought an Etzel?" And she just started laughing. Her father was like, what's wrong?" And she says, "An Etzel? Seriously?" But anyway, if you woke up to tomorrow and you are yourself now, you're who you are now, but you're back in high school and the people in high school see you as the kid you were in high school, but you're who you are now. What would you change? What would you change?
um, throwing that dang desk at that person.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else that you would change?
That's the only thing that I can't change my IQ. I wish I could, but I can't. I have brain damage. But I wish I could change the teachers I had,
Okay.
but I can't.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to mute there. Okay, so did she mute? Yes, she did mute. Okay, so I would change high school seriously. So, shy lady, how would you change high school? I mean, what would you do? And hold on, let me, Frankie, if you're up here, you said something. Did you say something? Okay. Frankie says, my parents put me in regular school and I was constantly bullied, but I didn't want to go to a special school. Okay. GB says, I would date the teachers, no doubt. Alpha says, if I can go back knowing what I know now, um, I have so much fun. And Lurex says, I would have studied harder and went to a better college instead of trade school. Okay. And Frankie, Juju likes your new um, picture, your logo. And I would change my Arabic teacher. He used to punish us, and GP says, "What would you do differently?" I will answer that question. I'm going to give Shy Lady the mic first, and then I will answer that question. Shy Lady.
Hey everybody. I would change high schools. I would be in a high school that was more racially diverse and in a neighborhood where people were used to seeing black people. And I would go to a school where kids were more like me. They cared about education and they valued learning. That's what I would change about my high school. I think if I had been in a school like that, I would have flourished. I wouldn't have to hear the N word all the time from white people. So, and then on the level of black people, I would have been in a school where most of the black people were like me. They cared about education and they cared about going to college. So that's just my thing.
Okay. All right. For me, I would definitely do my first semester of my sophomore year over. I totally screwed that up. My mother threatened to send me to the worst high school in Chicago, and I knew which one she was going to send me to. So I got my grades up my second semester, but my first semester, I definitely would have not fooled around my sophomore year, and I would have had those grades up. And also during my senior year, I would have um, probably gone to a different college. I went to a good university, but I would have liked to, if I had the opportunity, have gone out of state and gone to a college in New York where I was accepted, but I wasn't able to go. But in high school, I wish my grades were okay. I wasn't a straight A student, but I wish I would have paid more attention to my grades. In college, I paid a lot of attention to my grades, and I saw a difference of what it makes in terms of the opportunities that you have when you have those grades. And in college, I took it seriously. In high school, my grades were just okay, and I don't think that people really realize how important um, your grades are, just in terms of the opportunity that you have, either getting into a good college if you choose to go that route, or just when you go apply for that job, people, there's a reason why people are asking you, well, what type of grades, did you get? They want to know what type of grades you got when you were in high school, and that's, because they want to know the type of person that they are going to hire, especially your senior year. So I wish I had buckled down more, but my college years, I definitely did. I definitely did. And I can see the outcome years and years later on what my grades have been able to offer me. So, GP, I hope that answers your question. Ziller?
I just wanted to say something to Chill Lady. I tremendously love what you said, and you, Solid Blue, because the one lady that really helped me get to the graduation or the panel to get my diploma was a lady called Miss Nixon. She was she was black, and she stayed 7 hours after work to help me get to the graduation panel to get my diploma, and she was the person that helped me get there. And I like what both of you just said. I'd like to see that as well. For people that's like me coming up in the future that struggle with that need extra time with tests and stuff like that. I just wanted to say I I I would like to see that as well.
Okay. GB, as Charlotte, he's asking, where did you grow up? And Alpha says, if I went back, I stick with going into the Marines like originally planned and work hard to stay focused, work hard first to play more later in life, stay away from negative things. Um, Grid says, I would probably have gone to a better nonviolent school. Lurock, my high school was very diverse, fifth biggest high school in America. Don't know if it still is now. Grid says we had a kid cut the brake lines on a school bus in our school. Okay. Grid also says we also had a kid during break time paint thinners on the nerves and light them on fire. What? Okay, Shy Lady Salad, totally agree. Grades matter if you're trying to get in college or even trade schools. Duh. Grit wants to know. Alpha says, where the fuck did you go to school at Guantanamo Bay? And it was rough, man. Good for you, Zach from Juju. We need more teachers like that. All right, so Shy Lady, you want to answer GP where you went to school?
I went to high school in a south suburban area of Chicago.
Okay, all right. High school. I went to a Lutheran high school, and it was diverse. Um, it was mainly in a white neighborhood, so we did get a little bit of that. But putting everything aside, when you want to have fun and whatever, and I guess having fun is fine, but I guess you know kids really need to understand that high school is important. It's really important. I mean, I think that high school is probably even between grade school, high school, and then you have, if you want to go to college, university, whatever. High school is like, I mean, I know that I would have had more opportunity in terms of like scholarships if I had done better. But then again, coming out of college, what I learned from what I didn't do in high school, I was able to make up for it in college. Um, and again, even if you're going from high school and straight into a job, whatever, um, to me it just matters. But at the same time, it's like I still say that that high school is just it is a mental stressor. It will stress you out. It will, I mean, between if you're in the right clique, if you're cool, if you have a car, what classes you're taking, are you dating this person? Are you dating that person? Or, it's like high school is just stressful. It's just very, very stressful. And if it's one thing that if I didn't have to do, if I could just skip high school and go from grade school to college or grade school to work, I would skip high school altogether because high school, it just stressed me out. And it's something that I would never ever want to repeat. And if I went back to high school, if I woke up tomorrow and I was me now, but back in high school, and people saw me um, the way I was then, I would probably even change some of the people that I hung out with. But I would definitely take it a lot more serious. So let's see what else. Lurak says high school is supposed to be kind of mold you go into the future, supposedly. And I think it is. And Grit says if we were in detention and you were chewing gum, the teacher would make you take it out and smear it in your hair. Okay, that's a bit much. Yeah, I would definitely skip school, just work. Uh, okay, all right, all right. You know, um, so
Uh,
does anyone regret where their life after high school has been so far? Like, does anyone regret, since you've come out of high school, does anyone regret any post high school life? So, Zilla, I'll start with you.
exactly what Juju says. No. I'll agree with Juju. No.
Okay, all right. Um, Shy Lady, do you regret any post high school life?
Um, not really, because I've had a great life. I've met a good guy, had great kids, went to college, graduated, good careers. I did take a different path as far as career. So the only thing as far as careers is when I had graduated from college about maybe a year. No, I think the same year I graduated, I had an opportunity to possibly move to LA, but out of fear, I decided not to pursue it.
Fear because you were leaving home?
Well, fear. Well, one thing I had just started that job you and I had met at,
Mm-hmm.
and I had some cousins out in LA, but they were not my cup of tea. And I had had a couple of people I knew through sorority, but we weren't really good friends. And had I been bolder, I probably would have said, "Hey, let me hang out with you and find a job, and not go back to that one that you and I had met at." But then again, if I had done that, I would have never met you, and I probably would have never met my husband. So I guess I don't have any regrets.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, is interesting because when I moved out to California or to Los Angeles, again, I had been talking about since I was 10, because my family, we used to, go back and forth here, whatever. And all I wanted to do was, and that's what I would tell, I always tell people, I'm moving to California. I'm moving to California. I'm moving to California. That's all they heard with me growing up, because I wanted to live here. And my father always said, I know you're going to move because you're not someone who wants to stay in the same place. You're always someone who you want to go here, go there. You don't stay, even with the job where we met. I would stay in one position for 2 years, and then I would post out and I would go move around, whatever. I was never someone who wanted to stay where I was. And I, encourage my son. I tell him that if you ever feel that you want to move out of state, don't let us hold you back. Don't let us be the ones that keep you from doing what you want to do, because in the end, you know you don't want to be 80 years old and you say, I wish I should have. And but I understand that some people, they're afraid to take that leap, or they don't want to, whatever. Um but that's one thing that I never regret, is making that move. And when I made that move, I mean, it was only four people in my family: my mother, my father, and my sister. And I was the one that moved, and I would go back home to visit, whatever, or I went long stretches of time when, of course, I would talk to them on the phone, but I didn't see them, whatever. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the move that I made and the things that I've been able to accomplish. I never was able to do it there. Just business wise, and my business that I have now, never would have been able to have the success that I have now if I had stayed there. It just wouldn't have happened. So let's see. Frankie says no, she doesn't regret anything. Let's see. Lurex says, I don't want to call them regrets anymore, just bad experiences. Okay. Lurex says, I could have had a free ride for the rest of my life, but I had to leave the country. Kind of regret I didn't take up the offer now. And Alpha says, I regret a few things. Unfortunately, I dropped out of high school. Wasn't until recently I decided to get my GED. I should have just went back to school and worked harder. But no matter what happens, you just keep moving forward and be careful with your life choices. That's true. So let me ask, Lurock, if you had moved out of the country, would it have just been like for a year or two, 5, 10 years, and you could have come back, or was it like a permanent move? And did you not move because of family, or was it fear, or why didn't you move? Um, Grit says there's a fine line from the movie Pursuit of Happiness. Don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough. That is true. Welcome, Richmond. Is it Bochi? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome. Oh, I didn't move because I didn't like the country. But would it have been an extended period of time, or a short period of time? And I can understand that. If you don't want to, live in certain places, because there are some places in the U.S. I absolutely would never live. I've been in most states in the U.S. And I just would never move south. I would never move down south. I just wouldn't do it. I'd visit, but I don't want to live there. Now, one place I would not mind moving to is I wouldn't mind moving to Canada, and I definitely would love to retire to Hawaii. That's where I would love to retire. But it's expensive. Don't move to South Africa. Okay, Canada was my free ride. Okay, all right, okay. I want to move to Honolulu. Yeah, Juju, I know how much you like Hawaii. So, so that's all I have, guys. Zilla, you want to say anything before we start wrapping this up?
As you know, always a great show. I'll be
Well,
back
thank you.
tomorrow.
Okay, and Tuttles is back. Tuttles is back. Shy Lady, let me ask you: is there anything else you want to add before we end the show?
Just want to say that um, I think it was great that you made the move that you did. And I, like you, ever since I was like a little kid, I've always wanted to live in California because Chicago is always cold as I don't know what. And every time I would see a TV show, related to California, all those old shows from the 70s, you see Santa Monica Beach and all these places. And I'm like, it's the dead of winter, it's -10. I'm like, I want to live there. So I've always wanted to live there, like I said, since I was a child. But I don't have any regrets. Where I would like to live now is probably in one of the Caribbean islands.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that the weather, even though I want to live here since I was 10, the weather is definitely a draw. When I was, in Chicago, last November, February, and March, whatever, of this past year, it's like I remember one reason why I like, the West Coast so much is because of the weather. But in the end you do what is best for you. But again, like I tell my son, I do not let your family be the reason you don't take a job, you don't move someplace, you don't take an opportunity, because a lot of opportunities, that's what they are, they're an opportunity, they come and they go. And if it's something that you really want to do, that it may help you in the future, or you just want to do it just because you just want to do it, do it. I do not want to be the excuse. And I will never, ever make myself the excuse for my son not doing what he wants to do. So, Tuttles, welcome back.
Hey, hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're actually
Okay.
louder than you were before.
I just want to say that whole thought of going back to high school gave me pure anxiety from my whole car ride home from the fest. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, you could pay me $1 billion if put me back as me now back then. I still wouldn't do it. I still hate Sundays because I hated Mondays going to high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you're in Canada, right?
Yep.
Have you always been there? You were born and raised there? Or?
Yeah, I've been born and raised in this area. I did move away from the area for a little bit, but only a couple hours away. I've never lived down in the States or nothing like that. I played hockey there a bunch, but I've always lived in Canada. Probably within 20 minutes from where I live right now is where I grew up.
Okay. Now, Alpha says I want to retire in Japan, and you said I want to move from Canada to Alaska or or Colorado.
Yep.
Why those two? Because those are two different places.
Well, and when I'm saying Colorado, I'm talking like the boony type Colorado, not like Colorado where the people are.
So
Like,
not the city or anything.
no, heck no, no.
Okay.
Like man on a hill type mountain man kind of thing, away from most people and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. And Richmond says I prefer Canada, and GP says, would you live in the Bay Area? No, because the Bay Area reminds me of Chicago. The weather kind of sucks more. No, I'm strictly Southern California person. I visited the Bay Area. I had family that lived in the Bay Area. It's great to visit. Uh, he's even more expensive than Southern California, but no, Southern Cal. I'm a Southern Cal gal. Um, Tuttle says to no Lurak, you bring some oil. You bring some oil back with you. Okay. Juju says love Canada, but it's too cold. Tuttle's Canada isn't always cold because in the summer it gets pretty warm there, doesn't it?
My climate in my area is one of the hottest, humidest climates in all of North America. It was
Yeah, that's what I
101
thought.
degrees with the humidity the other day, and we were sitting at what, like May 10th or something.
Okay,
We're
okay,
surrounded by the Great Lakes, so we get the lake effect, heat and humidity, and it's just it's our area is brutal. It's cold and damp in the winter. In the summertime, you just the ball sweat factor's 10 out of 10.
okay. Well, I may actually be in Canada around after the week after Christmas. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go to Canada or if I'm going to go to New York. So I just may be up your way.
Well, Niagara Falls is the honeymoon capital of the world. It's
I've
a
been to
very
Niagara
popular
Falls so
popular
many
place.
times. So no,
It's like
I'm looking to go someplace else. But Canada has been, I've been eyeing Canada for the last year and a half. So yeah. Lurak says I would have moved to Toronto and I didn't like the fast life anymore.
yeah, Toronto's very hectic. It's like a New York. It's like the New York of Canada.
Okay. And then Lurak says brothers in Canada. Lurak says, does he like it? Chalet says, totally agree. Do it for you, not family. Okay, talking to having my somewhere to move. And yeah, so Shy Lady, my ex was from Caribbean islands, spent a lot of time on the islands when I was in my 40s and 50s. I asked to move there, but I was declined. It was nothing to do but drink rum, have fun, and lay in the sun. Alpha says, fuck today is a school night. I didn't do my homework.
That's every Sunday for me.
Okay. Anyone else have an obsession with shining their school shoes? We didn't have to do that. Even though I went to private school, we didn't have uniforms, so we didn't have to shine any shoes or anything. Canada's Lurak says Canada is always gloomy and cloudy. Well, at least Toronto. I disagree with that because even Tunnels, even in Toronto, the sun does shine. I mean, it's not always gloomy. It isn't like that because
No, there is a
I've
lot of
been
sunny days, but it's gotten to be quite smoggy.
so
Like
okay. So
especially being
it's the smog, not necessarily the weather. It's the smog.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay,
Because it's right just sort of northeast of Hamilton where all the steel factories and stuff are as well. So it seems
okay.
like a lot of the crap blows from there over to there.
Okay, that's what I thought because when we were younger, my family we used to travel to Canada a lot. So and I remember Toronto, Quebec. They were always. It was just nice. See, Juju says I've been to Canada in May. It's very nice. And Chai Lady Lurak, I agree. Toronto, I went for a honeymoon. Nice people. Weather reminds me of Midwest. Shy Lady, what month of the year did you get married? I've been to Canada too many times. I'm good, not going back unless it's the last tip to see.
April.
I'm sorry, when?
April.
April. Okay. Northern Lights. Honeymoon was in Florida, Maui, Kauai. Nightlife. Honolulu is the place to go. No nightlife. You know what? Maui and Kauai, they do not have no nightlife, and Honolulu may be the place to go. I was married in on Kauai, but I am one of those. I don't need. I give me peace and quiet. So Maui and Kauai, I am fine. Just give me peace and quiet. I don't need to. I don't need nightlife. I'm one of those people for Mother's Day. I don't want to go out to a restaurant to be around to stand in line to have crowded where you're eating whatever. I don't need that. My birthday, all that stuff. Mother's Day, just what do you want? I want peace and quiet. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Just from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Don't talk to me. Just just peace and quiet.
The
Oh,
the funny part about the stereotypes of Canada, like F1 Grid just said his brother has to wear snow boots when he barbecues outside. That's funny as heck. That's not a real thing, except for in the winter. Like, I have a few buddies that work at the border because we got a lot of border crossings here, living right by Niagara Falls and Fort Erie and stuff. We'll see like mid-July. Apparently, people come up from California with like snow skis on the roof of their cars, thinking that they're gonna go skiing and stuff.
I mean, right, that's what I'm saying, because I know Canada isn't like that. I mean, people see
No,
Canada and they think that it's like, like you're going through the tundra or or something.
like
It is not like that. So,
from where I live, I would have to drive for about 30 to 36 hours to find snow at the
okay.
moment.
All right. And Juju says, I don't like peace and quiet. Welcome, chill will. Yes, definitely peace and quiet. See, yep, peace and quiet. I won't talk to you. I won't even look at you. Thank you, Juju. When I say don't talk to me, don't, I mean it. Don't, I mean literally when my son was younger and for Mother's Day, I would say, just don't talk. You want something, ask your father. There is another parent in this house. And I would literally put a note on the bedroom door. Do not talk to me. Unless you're dead and dying, do not talk to me.
Hey,
So
Solid.
yeah.
I Juju, if Solid doesn't answer the phone, you can definitely call me. I'll find you on if you have just if you want to talk, I'm wide open. I love you, Juju. You're so great at this. I enjoy
Oh
this
boy.
way better now.
Alpha Mike says I've been given the option to live in Puerto Rico, but honestly, I don't think I can handle that heat. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Grit says Tuttle's half of the. Okay, you're talking about in the winter. Okay, you're talking about. Okay, your brother's wearing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in the winter. And too many loonies and toonies in Toronto. Loonies and toonies. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. I don't know about the loonies and toonies, but that was funny. That was funny. So,
Our
um,
$1 is actually a coin now. It's called a loonie, and our $2 is actually a coin now called a toonie. We don't have paper money for the $1 and $2 anymore.
really, okay. See,
Yeah.
I just learned something new. I thought he was talking about the cartoons, the Looney Tunes. That's what I thought he
No,
was talking
you
about.
go to the store and get change sometimes. If you buy something cheap with a 20, you end up with a big friggin' weight in your pocket of change.
Of
Even though
loonies
we
and
also, like
toonies.
8 years
Okay.
ago, we got rid of the penny. We don't have pennies in Canada anymore either.
That's
Since
interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right. So, Tuttles, you have a show coming up tonight, which I am definitely going to listen to. And Scooter and I was on with Scooter earlier because he's going to be on Friendly Differences Saturday, and uh, um, we were both talking about how much we enjoyed your show last week. So I'm looking forward. I'm not sure what the whole giant thing means, but I'm looking forward to a good show. So you want to give any insight and tell everybody again what time your show is going to come on?
10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and tonight it's on the Mighty Giants, and we're going to be talking about David and Goliath and Gilgamesh and Og and possibly Paul Bunyan, or it's basically all about giants, and you got something to chime in about a giant, be it then, be it now. Hop on up. I actually got a special guest speaker coming on tonight too. His name is Sal, and he's an expert in giants. He worked on a documentary for the Discovery Channel, which actually unfortunately never aired. But in real life, he's actually a 7 foot tall person, and he just happens to know a little about giants, and he is a sort of giant.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I will definitely be popping on. And Ziller, you want to tell people when your show is going to be on?
Oh, I'll have a show and I'll have a show until next Thursday because I am going to be having a special guest and that'll be my grandpa.
Okay. So that's next week, Thursday.
Yes, next Thursday after your show maybe.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
so
Okay.
5:30 or whatever,
All
6 o'clock.
right.
Say 6 o'clock.
Okay. And then I did let Chill know that I re-listened to yesterday's show last night, and
Uh,
I thought it was a great show, and I did let Chill know that it was a really good show, and I am glad that you guys came and you supported him. So, Chill, you want to make a comment about yesterday or anything, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
I might echo because I don't have my headphones. So
Nope, you're not.
yeah. So no, thanks for everybody coming through. You know that as long as they supporting you, they were supporting me, right? That's all. Um, and we can do it anytime. Like I said, anytime. But I have fun, and Juju says she wanted a part two, so we got to figure that out.
Well, we can do a part two, and I actually have an idea for a part two that I will run past you. But whatever your topic wants to be, it is fine because you definitely picked a good
Part two.
topic.
You can run a part two. I don't mind who does it. It's just
No,
if I
but you know, but no, but Juju said chill, so you know, chill has to do the part two. Just like when Brina, you know, she comes up for your show, but not for my show. Yeah, Brina, I did go there again.
poor solid.
So yeah, so chill. Yeah, it has to be you because Juju said, see, hey, what did you just say? Juju said, hey, chill. Yes, much needed. Yeah, Brina, you're sorry. Yeah, right.
Poor
So
solid. Get a tissue box.
I got my tissue box right here next to me already. So, and anybody who was on YouTube, Podbean, and Twitter today, thank you very much. I know Grit was there, so I got had at least one person who was over there. So, thank you very much. And other than that, guys, that's about it. I got nothing else. I got nothing else. So, on that note, I may do a show tomorrow night. If I do, it will be 7 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know. I'm not sure. I may. If not, then I will see you guys on my show. Hopefully on Monday, I will see you guys back. But I will definitely be on Tuttle Show or show up on Tuttle Show. I won't be on the show, but I will definitely show up for you Tuttles tonight. 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Is that right, Tuttles?
Yep,
Yeah.
and you're definitely welcome on the panel anytime.
Okay. And for you guys also, please come and listen to Friendly Differences for Scooter and Spanky, Beans, and Weenie. We're going to be talking about music and chill, maybe something that you want to come on for because Scooter asked a question about lyrics and why, well, he asked a question about why some people can and cannot sing to certain lyrics, and you being a DJ, I thought it would be of interest to you. But anyway, other than that, guys, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Have a good time, Solid Blue.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about Brina.
Yeah, Brina and I gonna have a talk. And Lurock, thank you for the love. Oh, Brina, see, she give me flowers. See, I can't have the talk with her. She give me flowers now. Okay, kind of mess that one up, but I'll catch you next time. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Go where the wind takes you. Bye.
Tell me when the show is.
It's ending now. Bye. You were late. You were like an hour and a half late. Hour 15 minutes late. Well, you know, maybe you should get an alarm clock. If you're saying something, chill, seriously, you are really, really faint. And Frankie, thank you very much. Thank you. So chill, Rita, Juju, Car Girl, Frankie, Tunnels, Grid, Alpha Mike. Well, who else was here? Saturday Night Smoke, Shiley. Who else? Heiko, You rock. All of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye.